Today marks 4 years since Michelle O'Connell was found dead inside her boyfriend's home, and her family is asking that her case be reopened. McConnell's death was ruled a suicide, but her family believes she was murdered by her boyfriend, who is a St. Johns County deputy. Our Jesse McDonough is in St. Augustine, where McDonald's family will hold a media conference this morning. And Jesse, you have the report from a private investigator into this woman's death.
Welcome to Action News at 7:30. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. It's September 5th. The last alarm clock went off this morning at 2:30. For some of you,
did you throw it out the window or something?
I didn't do anything. I was just like, oh.
The last alarm clock.
Thank you. Yes,
no,
the weekend.
You've been here all weekend.
New this morning, a Delta flight from New York to Palm Beach had to be diverted to Jacksonville International Airport because of an unruly passenger. A tough fight ahead for a local teen. A couple of months ago, 15-year-old Kevin Jenkins complained to his mom about weakness, straight speech, and vision. He thought he was just having bad headaches, but he soon learned it was much more. We have to work today, but we're happy to be here. Well, stranded at sea for 7 days, how a Florida couple made it home after their boat broke down 80 miles off the coast.
And in the last 15 minutes, JA arrived on scene here in Springfield. You can see 3 of their trucks lined up right off here to my right. They've been here for, like I said, about 15 or 20 minutes. We do know that there was a pole that was on fire that might have knocked out power to some area homes. We checked JA's website 2 minutes ago and found out there are 2 homes without power right now. There could be more. Cassett and Blanding is the area to avoid right now, because we're not just talking about a little bit of flooding. We're talking about more than a foot of standing water, which has covered about a block of Blackburn, which is off to my right here. And it gets a lot worse. It's covered about 2 to 3 to maybe even 4 blocks of Cassett behind me. You can see JSO's police lights all the way in the distance. That's how far this flooding goes. Right now, where I'm standing, I'm about shin deep, and I'm right in the middle of the roadway. But as I walk a little bit closer to the sidewalk, you can see it gets a lot deeper. It can go knee deep and even more. I've already got my jeans wet, so I'll hold off for now. But what we found under all of this debris is this car right here. The back of the window is smashed out. You can actually see one of the branches on top of the window there. That's how the glass was smashed. But we're also learning about a pretty remarkable story here. There were 2 teenagers standing by this vehicle when the tree came crashing down. Now, one of them was injured and had to go to the hospital to get some stitches. Another child, I'm told, suffered a small injury on her head, but both are said to be okay tonight. Again, JEA is here working to restore power to the 2 homes there. We're also working to find out more information about those teenagers, but once we have it, we'll bring it to you. We're live in Lakewood. I'm Alyana Gomez, Fox 30 Action News. Mark, I have that report in my hand that lists at least 24 violations, not to mention the pictures we obtained that show rats in and outside the restaurant, in which the general manager confirmed all came from this Southside location. Take a look at these stomach-turning photos of rats found dead inside the Wild Wing Cafe on Southside Boulevard. A man who says he used to work there was so disgusted, he sent us these pictures, and we went straight to the restaurant to find out what was going on. We're with Action News. We wanted to contact the kitchen manager or store manager here to confront them about some pictures.
I'm a manager, but I don't want to be on camera. Please, if you can turn that off.
The general manager didn't want to do an on-camera interview, but did tell me off-camera that the employee seen here was an old kitchen manager, but she claimed he doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Aaron Shaban says he was a longtime server at Wild Wing Cafe until Monday. He says he was fired by that kitchen manager.
The manager, Rob, tried to get me to clean a sink that rats live under, and I told him that's not part of my job description, and I wasn't going to do it, so he fired me.
He tells me that same manager shot this rat with a BB gun inside the kitchen and asked him to take these photos, which he then sent to his supervisor.
That is the text message that I sent to my manager, Dana.
Her response? Kill shot. We got our hands on the health inspection report from March that showed high priority violations for live roaches, dead rodents, and droppings. The general manager showed me the report that says she complied with cleanup efforts shortly after.
I just feel like the community should know where they're eating, because stuff like this could be a hazard for your health.
Since our visit earlier this evening, the restaurant owner reached out to Action News and says that they have not seen any rats in their establishment since April. Reporting live on the South Side tonight, I'm Alyana Gomez, CBS 47 Action News. Hey, Mark, everything seems to be in order since those changes have been made. I actually went on a couple rides myself. Right now, we're sitting on the Ferris wheel, giving you a great view from the top of the fairgrounds. You can see several rides here, the Fireball, the Space Roller. Managers tell me that they've been inspecting these rides every day since the fair opened 6 days ago.
It's what big and little thrill seekers come to the Clay County Fair for.
It spins around and the rides go up and down, and it's really fun. Awesome.
6 new rides that twist, turn, and twirl fairgoers. This year, we got our hands on the complete list, 40 rides in all. And we also obtained the inspection report that shows a passing grade for each one, but not all with flying colors. We found that many of them had deficiencies, with the worst one coming from the Sea Ray. A tower bolt wasn't properly secured, and on another ride, a light wasn't secure. I took these results to the fair manager, who tells me they cannot and will not operate any ride until an issue like that is corrected.
Once it passes inspection, then we're on our own. Unless there's a problem with it, we notify them, and then they come back for a re-inspection. But we've been clean and ready to go.
One rider I spoke with did have some concerns.
I saw one bolt missing out of one spot, but they said it was just holding something together and something else. It was like a panel box or some sort like that. Other than that, everything seemed to be fine.
This local mother says results like that are normal and didn't see an issue with it.
I do feel comfortable letting my kids ride on them. I'm there with them.
Fair managers tell me that they've never had an accident here, and also say that the Clay County Fair is one of the safest county fairs in the state of Florida. We're live in Green Cove Springs tonight. Alyana Gomez, Fox 30 Action News. And really, Mark, she can't. I mean, the home itself is still structurally sound, but because of the fire, the outside of the home is covered in soot. You can see it here on my hand, but also so is the inside. It's not in livable condition, but a local organization is hoping to change all that for a woman who really spent her entire life living inside this home. The caution tape is the first sign that something bad happened here.
The worst was, having a man break in and strangle you.
3 months ago, 72-year-old Marty Williams' home was invaded in the middle of the night. She was beaten, choked, and hospitalized. But after enduring the most traumatic experience of her life, the only thing she had left was ripped from her.
And then the next night or two, this happened. And we think it's the same guy.
The man believed to be behind the arson and the attack is now behind bars. Still, Williams was left homeless, and with no family to help, she turned to the Justice Coalition.
And she come back and tried to live in that house, and she got double pneumonia. And she was sent back to the hospital for a long time. From there, she was sent to a convalescent home.
Since then, the community has stepped in to help remodel her home. Paint, drywall, a new roof, and more has already been donated by local companies. I was there when Ann Duggar with the Justice Coalition revealed the exciting news to Williams.
Oh, my heavens. How fantastic. Boy, God's working miracles, isn't he?
Yes, Duggar believes it will only be 2 more weeks before Williams can move back in.
I wouldn't have cared if I had opened the door and there hadn't been a stick of furniture in there. It would have still been home.
Right where I'm standing used to be a garage. You can actually see all of the debris still left behind. What's still needed for the home is a solid door that would come into the garage and, of course, the construction of the garage itself. Now, in addition to the exterior and the destruction of the exterior, her clothes were also completely ruined, so gift cards are encouraged so that the Justice Coalition can take Williams shopping for new ones. We're live in Arlington tonight. I'm Alyana Gomez, CBS 47 Action News. Chopping this large tree down is just half the battle. Now, here's the issue. It's sitting right on top of the roof of this little porch here, this little patio here, making it very unstable. This could come crashing down at any minute. So when they're chopping this down, they're going to have to be very careful, and that alone will be the most challenging part of this cleanup process. Tom Seidel feared this day would come. He knew his home was no match for heavy rain and wind. Worries confirmed by his neighbor, who saw this large tree come crashing down on his home.
It sounded like a big old crash. I thought somebody ran into my house because it was that loud.
Russell ran outside to find Seidel's patio completely taken out by a toppled tree.
He just left to help the neighbor next door. Her car broke down, so we took her husband over there to help her. And then I says, Tom, don't be surprised when you come home.
He walked me through the damage, showing me a portion of the tree that slammed on top of his new roof.
If it was a little bit taller, or if it was aimed that way a little bit more, it would have done some major damage to the house.
Seidel is a retired veteran who's been struggling with a very limited budget and says this unforeseen cost may put him under.
Last night, the torrential rains for the past 2 days, I actually looked up to the ceiling and asked God, should I start building an ark? And I guess here's my timber.
There's a pretty good sized hole here. and you could see the pipes down in the road, and we were real concerned that it was going to get bigger.
Camelia Cook is just one of many local neighbors dealing with what the city classifies as a cave-in, crumbling topsoil caused by a busted underground pipe. When Cook notified the city several months ago, they put this barricade out. She says they never finished the job.
But they listed it as a city property or city work order.
Yeah, but you see where we're at. I mean, we filled it in. My husband filled it in.
I requested a list from the city for the number of cave-ins in Jacksonville. Cook's was one of them, and I found out there are 90 other issues. 32 on the west side, 29 on the south side, 20 on the north side, and 11 on the east side. I went to check out at least one cave-in each neighborhood. But this one, steps away from a north side home, seems to be the worst we saw.
It was about this big.
And growing by the day, according to Glenda Lowry. She says the city originally told her it would take more than an entire year before her cave-in was fixed.
It's sunk so far, it's going towards my yard. And the more you step on it, the more it goes down.
When I asked the city about it last week, they said they would investigate and revisit the cave-in. And now they tell me they should have it fixed by June.